We're gonna start our search here on the northern side of the mountain. Whoa, look at this. Have you ever seen anything like that? Make our way southwest through the belly of Chaos Canyon. There could so easily just be a cave right here. And then hook around east to an area called the ice beds. There's just an ice cold breeze right here.
This area is massive.
Without guidance, we could wander around out here for a lifetime.
One thing that keeps coming up in the old tales of people out here searching for the treasure, divining rods, witching sticks. They're using them out here trying to locate the treasure. Should we find someone to teach us the ways?
Let's find somebody to teach us. Well, spring has arrived. The snow has finally melted from the mountains. And later this week, we'll be sitting down with a man from the UK to talk about dowsing. Now, we understand that finding treasure with a stick can be a controversial subject, quite frankly, hard to believe.
But many treasure seekers before us looking for the vault used a lot of dowsing.
Because of that, we're going to be entering this with a completely open mind, and we'll just see what happens. We're joined today by the one and only Gary Blackwell. Thank you, Gary, for joining us today. As you may know, we're searching for this legendary treasure in the mountains of Vermont. As we've been sifting through these tales of the treasure hunters that have come before us, one thing that's mentioned over and over and over again is dowsing. Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and your history with dowsing?
Well, it probably goes back about 10 years, Brad. I had a friend who was from overseas. He's a Bulgarian guy living in the UK. I was driving along with him and he said, I can douse with my forehead. And we were like, yeah, come on, and he said, no, I used to do it back in Bulgaria. I haven't done it for a long time, but I can sense when there's certain metals.
Okay.
And we were driving along and I said, all right, these fields all around us, what one contains the iron patch? And he looked around and said, just on the brow of that hill there. And I knew this land quite well because it's been my permission for a long time. And we got our detectors and I went up there and yeah, he was exactly spot on. So then we started talking about dowsing and he said, oh yeah, I douse quite a lot. And I said, what with sticks and stuff? He said, no, he said, I use aluminium rods. And he showed me his rods and showed me what to do, and he made me a set of rods and he said, here you go, and I've had them ever since. I don't know if I've still got them here. There they are. They're aluminium rods. What's that, about probably 5 millimeters wide?
Yeah, we have been sifting through these newspapers from the 1800s and the late 1700s, and one thing that keeps coming up are witch hazel rods. Over and over, they didn't seem to be using metal rods. It was all forked witch hazel.
I think witch hazel is just perhaps the traditional method.
Okay.
But you have the connection with the earth, and if you pull something out of the earth to use dowsing through the earth, maybe there's something in it.
Sure.
But personally, I don't think there's a lot in it. It's your mind connecting with the tools you're using.
Okay, that's good to know. Maybe we'll get a set of both, of metal and witch hazel, and give it a go with that. Can you give us any pointers? The most basic, like we hold the two sticks, right? Do they cross? Do they go outwards?
They do absolutely everything, Brad. But before you go out dowsing, as you probably saw about my video, my YouTube channel, Guard Anselin, build up the association with the rods. Ask them, what way would you go for yes, what way would you go for no? Sometimes it'll only be a very tiny movement.
Interesting.
But this is to be expected in the early days, but any movement's better than none. What I have found, now this has happened so many times in the past, it's taken me to somewhere where there's nothing there. You go over it with all metal with your detector, there's nothing there. And I've later spoke to the farmers and they said, we dug a rubbish pit out there just after the war, so it's not necessarily there now, but it may have been there in the past. So that's just one angle of looking at it.
That's good to know.
Well, once I was mat dowsing on a field we were going to be detecting on the next day with a pendulum. You think a pendulum would sort of hang down like this, But when you're map dowsing, you can get the pendulum at this angle. It's like magnetic.
Whoa. And it's
I
pointing
map dowsed the field, and I said to my father, I said, just about 20 metres off of the hedge and about 30 metres along there's a concentration of metal. We turned up on the day and the farmer had parked his big metal trailer on that exact spot in the middle of the field. So do you know what I'm saying? There's so many different ways of interpreting this.
Interesting.
I've heard in the past that some people have doused and they feel really bad once they've been dousing. Some people pass out with it. Now I'm not fooling around, this is actually true. But so if you do douse and you start feeling uneasy, please don't continue, because dowsing's not for you.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for sitting down and talking with us. I think that we have enough to at least give it a try.
Great talking to you guys, and
as well.
Please keep me informed.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Gary.
Following it with interest.
Well, thank you again for your time, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Bye for now.
Bye. What do you think?
I'm a little surprised. I was pretty amazed by what he had said his friend found with just no rods. And
right.
It almost seems as if the whole art, I guess you could say, of dowsing is more of a mind mentality thing.
Right. That's kind of filtered through the rods.
Exactly. It's like the rods are as if just conduits of something going on with you, or in your head, something spiritual. I'm not sure.
So I think that the next step is to hit the internet and order up some rods and a pendulum, possibly. And as soon as it arrives, we'll, get some practice in and then head out to Chaos Canyon.
Find some treasure.
All right, well, it's a week later. We're back in Chaos Canyon. And with us today, we brought 2 sets. Whoa. 2 sets of dowsing rods.
I think they're calibrating to me.
Yeah, we have the kind that Gary showed us. Although I wasn't able to find aluminum, these are pure copper as advertised. And we also have the more traditional witch hazel, what was used in the 1800s by those who came before us searching for this treasure. You're really moving around, huh?
Yeah, I didn't ask anything. Gary was putting a heavy emphasis on forming an association with them, and I just wonder if this is kind of like some kind of connection thing. Now,
because of the varying DeGrau tales said to take place here, we're really searching for one of 2 things: a man-made silver or gold mine, or a natural cave used to store and hide chests of gold, both of which are said to be sealed with a boulder. So how do you think we should really approach this? Should we maybe start above the canyon or start in the belly of the canyon? What do you think?
Should we start in the belly of the canyon?
Okay.
That's
what we'll do. We're going to pack up our gear and head towards the ice beds. What do you think, Eddie? Are you having any luck with those?
I think I'm still feeling them out. Still making that association. I notice on occasion they kind of go way wonking out. Like, I'll feel like I'm on a good narrow path, and then just like, woo.
Yeah, I'm not really feeling anything with mine, but as the skeptic, I kind of, they only work if you really truly believe in them. I'm trying to put my skepticism aside, but it doesn't feel like the stick is doing much. But we're making our way through the canyon. Eddie's got his. Every once in a while, we're kind of asking them a question. Doing our best here. Let's keep going.
Is there treasure in these woods?
Nothing.
I don't think it's responding. Has DeGrau's treasure ever been found?
Out is no, right?
It is.
That looks good to me. Enough for me to keep going.
It doesn't look as pretty. Gary's was pretty clear, like, no, yes.
Well, that's something. Let's keep going. Keep giving it a shot. So Mine really only goes up and down, and it's not as dramatic as yours. I'm really just kind of feeling for a tug.
Have you felt many, like, any strong indications or tugs, or?
I mean, hard to say.
Do you truly believe?
I'm trying. I'm really trying. Are we walking in the right direction? Nada. Let's keep going. I'll keep trying, keep asking, but doing my best here. All right, well, we're not having very much luck. You know, my rod goes up and down, his goes in and out. We're asking it questions, and we're really not getting a clear direction. And because this area is so vast, we brought along another tool in the same realm of dowsing, and it's a pendulum for map dowsing. We're gonna get it out on this rock over here, see if we can get it to do something for us. Brought along a map of Chaos Canyon here. You can see this is the mountain. This is Chaos Canyon running along to the ice beds on this side. The pendulum is also made out of solid copper. A little metal pendulum on a chain, and the general idea is to, maybe I should let you do this, Eddie, bring it around the top of the map and waiting for a reaction. We're just trying to get a general idea maybe where we should focus our search with the dowsing rods. Gary had mentioned that he could get one of these things to, you know, point at like a 45-degree angle at something. I don't know if you, did you see that?
Yeah.
It kind of feels like it stops right here. I'll move it and it's kind of really shaky.
Yeah, everywhere around.
And then it kind of stops right there. It feels like it's kind of pulling right there a little bit. That's the big rock slide.
Yeah.
Well, one of them. That's the smaller of the two rock slides, right at the base of it. Interesting. You want to give it a try?
Sure.
All right. Whoa. Same spot.
Wow.
All right. I'm convinced. We're going to go to the base of that one little rock slide there.
That is so weird.
All right. We got a plan now. We're going to go there, get the dowsing rods back out, and go from there. The following is read from the Rutland Daily Herald, June 23rd, 1926. The history of many towns in Vermont tell of the search of some men for precious minerals, jewels, buried treasure, or other source of hidden wealth. About the beginning of the 19th century, there flourished a sect which was known by the people of the surrounding towns as the Rod Men. A feature of their religion was digging for buried treasure, which they claimed to be able to find by use of hazel rods. To this day, deep pits in the mountains mark the scenes of their activities. It's easier going up. So I said it was easier going up.
Yeah, tell me about it. What's so weird over there? It's so weird. That's a freaking cave. Is that or is that not a beautiful cave?
Hang on a second. Don't go near it until I get over there with the camera. Can you folks see that?
I'm a believer.
You have got to be kidding me. Look at this cave. Like a little pile of stones in there. You see that?
No, where? Oh! There is, over to the right. Oh my gosh. Got a little water dripping and everything.
You've got to be kidding me.
Oh.
I am...
It's a little tighter in there.
I am blown away. It is so dark. I don't even know if I brought a flashlight.
I only have my tiny little pocket flashlight, but it's something. It's all quartz.
This is like a little You have got to be kidding me.
Oh my god, there's like natural light coming in from the back.
Wow. Well, it's clearly not a mine, but, you know, it's possible it could be DeGrau's cave that he hid chests of gold in. But, you know, according to the legend, they placed boulders to hide the chests. And we're looking around here. I mean...
I see a couple possible ones.
Yeah, this one is definitely big enough.
There's one over there.
Let's see, how would they have done this? Pushed it from above? Maybe. That would have been the move, right?
Probably.
Dislodged one of those rocks from above and let it fall over the opening.
It must be the only way.
And then somebody, you know, within the last 300 years pushed it the rest of the way. Well, you know, if there were chests of gold in there and somebody found them in a fever, maybe they dropped some. So I brought a pinpointer to drag around in those rocks.
I'm not above scooping up the leftovers.
Let's just see what's in there. Ooh. So if I was DeGrau and we were carrying 4 incredibly heavy chests full of gold up this little hill, it's plausible. And I would stick them right in there, right?
Yeah, makes sense. I think that's like the main chamber, I would say.
All right, so for folks who are unfamiliar with these, this is a pinpointer. It essentially beeps when it's exposed to metal, including gold, like my gold wedding band. So essentially what we're looking for is possibly a dropped gold coin, doubloon.
Show me the gold.
This would be more efficient with a metal detector, but to be quite honest, I didn't think we were going to find anything today.
This guy has no faith.
And I don't know.
Nothing? I can't believe it.
You know, if I found 4 chests of gold coins 100 years ago, probably would make sure I didn't lose any of them. No, I'm not getting any beeps, you know, still works. Wedding band. Nothing. Alright, let's get out of this cave.
I cannot believe we found a cave dowsing.
You know, I keep thinking about why would the dowsing rods and the pendulum direct us to an empty cave, but you remember what Gary said.
Yeah, the rods can direct you to where something used to be you're looking for, or where metal used to be.
You know, I think that this is a plausible place. There could have been a road down through this area of the canyon. Where the road would have been isn't too far from the cave. It's a good size. There's a way to get a giant boulder to cover the hole. You know, although it's going to be impossible to prove that this actually was DeGrau's cave used to stash chests of gold, I think it is still possible to prove if there was or was not a gold mine here in the canyon. You remember those samples of quartz we took?
I do.
Well, next time, with some help, we're going to use those to hopefully prove one way or the other whether it's even possible to have a gold mine in Chaos Canyon. I want to thank you again for watching, and hopefully you'll join us again next time on our search for the Vault of DeGrau.